Fernando Alonso has always been a pretty outspoken driver, and that's one of the reasons he's gained so many fans. After a challenging weekend for Aston Martin in Italy, it seems the Spaniard had some steam that needed letting off, and decided that the media was the place to do it. Having been in the sport as long as he has, Alonso has seen many of the greats rise and fall, and chose to give his opinion on where the two most recent driver champions sit. Stick around as we delve into Fernando Alonso's shocking comments on Verstappen, Hamilton, and much more. As candid and direct as always, Fernando Alonso has given his opinion on the involvement of Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton in their respective F1 teams. When we talk about the Formula 1 greats, the idea that they built a team around them often comes up, and with Verstappen and Hamilton, Fernando thinks that doesn't apply. Perhaps one of the best recent examples of this would be Michael Schumacher. Ferrari weren't an instant success when he joined the team, though if things had gone differently in the final round in Spain in 1997, and he hadn't tried to ram Jacques Villeneuve off the track, it might have been. It wasn't until his 5th season on the team that he won his first Drivers' Championship in a Ferrari. Prior to Schumacher, Ferrari had come close to silverware, but nothing had been added to their cabinet since 1983, 13 years before Schumacher joined the team. It was Schumacher with Jean Todt who brought in Ross Brawn and Rory Byrne. The two were behind Schumacher's success at Benetton as well. They overhauled how Ferrari worked and made a dynasty that saw Schumacher win 5 straight drivers' titles. It would have been more if it wasn't for Adrian Newey's McLaren as well. It was Ross Brawn, by the way, that was behind the incredible Brawn GP, whose one season in the sport saw them take both titles. The team would then become Mercedes, which again would be headed up by Brawn, who Toto Wolff was understudy to before taking over the team himself. Brawn is truly one of the great minds of Formula 1. But anyway, back to Hamilton and Verstappen, whom Alonso says did not build a team around themselves in the same vein as someone like Schumacher. Alonso also isn't in the same camp as Lewis and Max. His case is possibly the most perfect opposition to both drivers. Alonso never had the best car on the grid, but he managed to get the best out of it. His season at Aston Martin is the obvious proof, the difference between climbing the mountain or finding yourself at the top. When Hamilton went to Mercedes in 2013, he didn't build anything to be champion. It was just a change of regulations to the hybrid engines that changed everything on the grid and pushed Mercedes to the top. I feel the same with Max. When he joined Toro Rosso and Red Bull, Hamilton was still winning everything. Red Bull is not a winning team because of him. It's just another regulation change in 2021 has meant they now win every race, Alonso analyses. While this might sound accusatory at first, there is some context to it. Alonso goes on to say while driver skill is important to make the most of the car, the technical skills and decisions made by the team are actually more important. In perhaps one of the first instances I can remember of a driver admitting that the work of the factory team is more important than that of the driver, he says, "When we say that we can build teams around us, I don't understand it. This is a sport where technical decisions, regulations, or the inspiration of the design office make more of a difference than your input, your comments, your personality, or your driving. For the Spaniard, in Formula 1, as in virtually most aspects of life, you just have to be in the right place at the right time, because a lot of success still depends on luck." This argument comes up so often in Formula 1. What is more important, the driver or the car? I regularly see people comment on our videos saying, put Verstappen in a Williams and see if he still wins. He would presumably do better than Alex Albon, as he has beaten him before in the same machinery. But would he be dominating the Drivers' Championship as he is at the moment? Absolutely not. Then again, if you put Alex Albon in Max's Red Bull, he probably wouldn't be doing what Max is. Checo has shown this season that it isn't as simple as having the best car. In 2014, Mercedes had the best car on the grid, and that was true right through to 2022 and the regulation change. Hamilton did get lucky with his career move at that time. But the fact that Valtteri Bottas never managed to seriously challenge him shows that there is some driver skill involved. The same thing is happening at Red Bull at the moment. Alonso has been on the opposite side of this. He is a great driver, clearly capable of winning titles, and if you put him in Max's Red Bull, I have no doubt he would be well on his way to winning a Drivers' Championship this year. But he has made some bad moves in his career and hasn't had the right car. Is Alonso trying to downplay the success of the two drivers? Not at all. But he is pointing out that they have an entire team behind them that should be taking far more credit than they currently get. Interestingly, after the Dutch Grand Prix, Alonso did say that what Max is doing at the moment is being vastly underappreciated. Alonso was asked what he thought about Verstappen's achievements and whether he thought the Dutchman was driving at a level beyond everyone else, or whether someone like himself or Lewis Hamilton could match him. Alonso said, "It is underestimated sometimes what Max is achieving. To win in such a dominant manner in any sport is so complicated. So to be at the same level as him? We have a lot of self-confidence, drivers in general, so I do believe that I can do it as well. I don't know about Lewis, but me, yes, and Lewis as well." Again, Alonso is stating that the right driver in that Red Bull could be doing what Max is doing, but he and Lewis have the bad luck of being at a team that hasn't produced a car as good as Red Bull have the last couple of years. He isn't saying that every driver could be doing what Max is. Of course there is a skill difference, but the absolute top drivers can't overcome a lesser car. They can only maximise the potential of a good one. Fernando Alonso is the most experienced Formula 1 driver ever. That is a fact. At 42, with F1's all-time record for the most number of Grand Prix contested and counting, the Spaniard is enjoying a new dawn of competitiveness at the wheel of his Aston Martin in 2023. After a series of early podiums in 2023, Aston Martin entered a more recent slump, but Alonso says he was always prepared for a longer period on the way to the top three. Hopefully now, for 2024, if we make a big leap in the winter similar to the leap we made last winter, it would be incredible, so hopefully. However, he warned his fans that his hyped-up push for a 33rd career victory may not materialise this year or at all. "I may retire without achieving it," said Alonso. "But every time I eat breakfast every day, I'm thinking about fighting for the World Championship. If I'm here, if I sacrifice my life for this sport and for this passion, it is because I believe in the team and I believe that I can win." As Fernando says, he has to believe in his team to provide a good enough car to challenge for a race win. Of course, doing so does mean matching the pace of the RB19. At present, Red Bull's Max Verstappen is utterly dominating, causing some to complain that it is making F1 boring. But Alonso says it's just Formula 1. "It wouldn't be F1, he said when asked if he would prefer that each driver has an equal chance of success. "There have always been different teams and technology has always made the difference. It has always been like that and it always will be like that, because it is the premier category. There are other categories, F3, F2, Indy, karting. F1 is perhaps the least fun of all, but it is without a doubt the one that has the most impact." So when asked which of the new generation of drivers is impressing him the most personally, Alonso answered, "Well, we have Lando, who is a great talent and also a nice guy. Albon is standing out a lot this year. Then there is Gabriel Bortoleto, who has just won F3, and Pepe Marti," he added, referring to a young Spaniard his management company handles who has just been signed up to Red Bull's driver program. While Alex Albon did struggle while at Red Bull, he's come back with a newfound confidence that has drawn the eyes of the top teams on the grid. In Lando Norris, McLaren have a driver that Red Bull are desperate to get a hold of as well. If either driver were to get a car good enough for a World Championship win, do you think they would have the skills to take it? And what do you think of Alonso saying that the car is the more important factor in success? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and until next time, drive safe and bye for now.